Hello guys and welcome to today's video. My name is Lorrainechimbga and this is February's A Month in the Life of the LPC. I know I was doing weekly vlogs at the beginning and I think we're now 6 weeks into the LPC and it's been a roller coaster. So I'm just going to give a quick recap of what I've learned, how I've been feeling and what's been going on. So let's get into it. The first thing I really want to get into is that on the accelerated LLM LPC, it's literally like you're on those Alton Towers roller coaster rides, but you don't get a time. And like you're on Oblivion, which is one of my favorite roller coaster rides, and you're just waiting for the drop, and then it dropped. That was February. So so far we've literally had an exam every single Friday for as long as I can remember at this point. So I successfully, in my eyes anyways, made it through advocacy. And that exam, obviously I can't go into detail because it's an examinable offense to talk about the scenario, etc. But generally speaking, with advocacy, we were given a fact pattern and then you had to come up with an argument for whatever it was, and then obviously record yourself. So usually pre-pandemic you'd go in and it would be conducted differently, but this time we just had to record ourselves and then upload it, which was pretty good because it gave us time to practice and do it in our own time, in our own way. Personally speaking, I feel pretty confident with what I did. I did my best. Obviously we'll see in July when I do a live reveal of my results, but I really liked that. And then that was followed by what did we do? PLR, which is called Practical Legal Research. I think I talked about it in my previous videos, but basically, obviously, as a future lawyer and as a lawyer in general, you cannot rely on Google to get you the answer. There is a prescribed method of getting to the right answer or general vicinity of a right answer for your client, and knowing what laws apply and what situation is similar. So again, same thing, we were given a scenario and we all had different scenarios, and then we had to research that. And that to me, if I'm honest, was pretty intense. So if you know my story, you know that in undergrad at UCL, I vowed to never do an all-nighter, but sometimes you just gotta switch up your strategy to get the job done. So I didn't have to, but I thought it was the best way for me to work personally. So the scenario was released on a Thursday morning at 9 a.m, but then we had lectures until 1 p.m, and then we had until 5 p.m. Friday to submit the answer. And you might be thinking, if you've never done this before, you'd be thinking, oh, that's such a lot of time, why would you need a whole, is it 24 hours and a half to do it? But honestly, if you do PLR, you'll know what I mean. It never feels like it's enough. And if you don't read everything, there's this one obscure line which will have the answer that you need from a scenario. So I was like, you know what, this is just 24 hours of my life. I'm gonna take the best chance that I've got. So I just stayed up and made sure that I'd read every single thing that I came across and followed the leads. Again, I think I did okay. I did the cardinal sin of rereading what I'd submitted after the deadline, and I spotted a few things, but ultimately I did my best, and I think I did pretty well considering the pressure. And again, for the LLM LPC in particular, it's not a normal type of pressure because literally every single week you have something on. So I know I've been seeing on Instagram, people this week have been saying, oh, I just did advocacy or PLR, and I'm like, I did that 2 weeks ago, and I did wills and estates in January. So yeah, it's intense. And the other thing I wanted to address really is the pressures. Now I'm sure I come across as weird to some of my cohort because I'm always just is everyone okay? Does anyone need help? Is everyone fine? And when you come into such a competitive field as law, it can seem suspicious when someone's just being overly hey, if you need a friend. But honestly, having worked after graduating and being in the real world, in the working world especially, I am at that point in my life where I'm like, to be honest, if I win, but if I share how I won with someone else, it doesn't take away from me, because at the end of the day, I'm me and no one else can be me. So like, it kind of feels weird because there's still this palpable sense of competition sometimes, and that's you can call it naive, but to be honest, that's not how I view life, because at the end of the day, I'm cruising in my own lane, so it doesn't really touch me. But it's so sad that sometimes in law, especially in the legal field, with all these kind of like other influences we have now, you know what I mean, it feels sometimes that we're all competing against each other. But it really brought me back to how I felt in undergrad, which is someone else shining doesn't take away from you, and at the end of the day, there's one thing that no one else can take from you, and that's your story and who you are and the essence of who you are. If you always focus on that, literally there's just this palpable confidence you just walk in every day that no one can take away from you. So I think that's one thing I really appreciate about the LPC, which is it's solidified for me my confidence in myself and what I bring, and that took a lot of time to get to, if you've been following my story. So you know, it's a step-by-step process, but generally speaking, I'm not gonna lie, I've been struggling. The LPC is not difficult. Let me get that straight. I personally think, controversial, but I don't think the material is actually that difficult, if I'm honest. It's just the volume that is thrown at you, and second of all, especially if you're on sponsored LPC, it's the pressure of knowing that like, oh my goodness, if I mess this up, what am I going to tell my firm, you know? So I think that's just what my main worries have been. But through it all, I have a really strong support network who have been encouraging me in the background. I know I've mentioned her before, but like one of my close friends on the course, Tyra, we literally, I think she's seen me more than I've seen my family in the last year of the pandemic, let's be honest, because we literally just get on a Google Hangout every morning and we just stay there the whole day silent, studying in silence. So that is one tip that I've got from doing the LPC. Just find someone you can be accountable to and with, because I found like the worst thing is suffering in silence on this course, because it will get to you no matter how strong you are. At some point you'll be like, bruh, how did I get an offer? But honestly, if you're at this stage, you're smart enough, you're good enough to be here, and that's just something I had to remind myself of this month, to be general. But yes, I know I've been silent, but I guess it's back in the house. Yes, I've been watching RuPaul's Drag Race. Yeah, that was just an unfiltered hello vlog catch up. How you doing? How's everyone doing? And I hope you're all okay. And one thing, because I actually missed the news, I don't watch the news anymore. I literally deleted, that's another productivity tip by the way, I deleted all the apps from my phone that are related to news, social media. I usually delete Instagram during the week, and it's just been so good for my like zen mindset to just get into what I need to do. And to be honest with you, how I view the next 6 months is it's only 6 months and this is going to be over, then I'll be a trainee. But of course, I'm not naive. I know that trainee life will bring trainee problems. But for LPC life, it's been working well. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below how you guys have been doing. Thank you for connecting and having patience with me during this time, and hope you're all well during this time. Wow, I said time a lot just then, but it still stands.